Welcome once again to your update from the city of New Hope. It's time to sit down with the mayor to find out what's new and what's coming up in the city. Welcome, Mayor Hemken. How are you today?
I'm just fine. I left the pictures of the snowy background because I'm hoping for a white Christmas,
I
even
think
though it doesn't look like that. It's very green out there still, or the grass. But so don't get discouraged that it's snowing just in that one little piece in New Hope.
I think a lot of people are waiting for a white Christmas. We'll see what happens. We've got a lot to talk about today that's going on in the city. Let's begin with community development and a great partner to the community that is all about energy. Tell us a little bit about this program in the city.
Well, the Center for Energy and Environment is the base program. The city has some low income loans or low interest loans. So 3% for people that are 80% or under in the area medium income of their homes or their wages. And it's 5% for everyone else. So if you need an emergency loan or a loan deferred, you can always go onto our website or you can call that number that's on your screen now
Mhm.
and they'll help you get that deferred loan.
Good. Website newhopemn.gov and the phone number 612-335-5884 to find out more information. Again, as we record on December 9th, also want to mention a partnership with the county. Elevate Hennepin is the program. Tell us a little bit more about the success it's had and the extension you now have for this program.
Well, we signed a 2-year contract with them to go on with this program. It's really wonderful. What they do is they have a bunch of people that will help businesses either get started, help them with a business plan, or if you've got a business that is starting, they'll help you with some management of that business. They'll help you with financials. They won't loan you money, by the way, but they'll just help you with all kinds of things that are related to your business. This is a free program. You get up to 25 hours per consultant, and you can use all the consultant that you need for this 25 hours that you get with them. So we have in New Hope, we have done 294 hours this year so far. So people are using the program and it seems to be helping. We want to bring small businesses into the city and we want to help those businesses that are getting started.
And again, go to the city's website to find out more about that program. You can also find out there about the curbside appeal program. And it sounds like another success story in the making here.
It is. This was our 31st applicant that we approved. They're getting a new front door with windows on the side, and they were doing a door with windows. So again, they're appealing to the curbside. We've had a little bit of discussion whether or not that should be interior too, but we've decided that it's supposed to be how the house looks from the outside. You
Mhm.
have to start somewhere and you have to draw the line somewhere. That's where we've drawn them.
Very good. Property we've been following is 3840 Oregon. This was the home that was inside some park property. What is the latest on that property?
Well, all the junk has been taken away, and they're going to hydro seed probably this week sometime, and then Public Work will be watering that seed in the spring. Now, there's going to be a new. They're going to fix the curb cut that was there because it doesn't need to be there anymore, but they won't do that till the spring because if they pour concrete when it's cold, sometimes it'll crack. So
Mhm.
that's a problem too. And the other thing, they've gone to Hennepin County and declared that this is now tax exempt property because it's is part of the parkland. So we have got the whole park now. There's no house there.
Fantastic. Business Networking Group, another group that works out of community development. They just recently had a meeting. Tell us about that recent meeting and also the one that's planned for January.
Well, the recent one was at Near Food Shelf. They have a new renovated conference room and their lobby that they've redone. So the Rotary got together with other Rotaries and gave them about $12,000 to redo this room. So they had a meeting there just to show us the room, show us around their new the way they shop. Used
Mhm.
to be they'd fill up a bag and a client would come in and just get this bag of groceries. Now the client comes in with the grocery cart, goes up and down the aisles just like a grocery store
Yeah.
to get the food. So it's really a nice improvement. An interesting thing happened with that. They're actually serving more people, but they're giving out less food. Not because people aren't getting what they want, but the key is they're getting what they want and they're not getting food that they necessarily didn't want. So
Very
it's just a new
interesting.
way of doing business, and everyone seems to be happy with that. So the next business networking group is going to be at City Hall. That's on the 8th of January, and that's a 8:30 meeting. No, it's a 2 o'clock meeting, and that's going to be hosted by ATAJ Studios. And what this guy does is he comes and does a 360-degree thing of your business, and then you can put that on the website. People can see what your business is like. He also does it for homes that are being sold. So he'll come in and he'll show us some pictures and talk about that. So that's at City Hall on the 8th of January.
Hope people can stop by and join in on that group. Now to scatter site housing, a number of properties in the works here. Let's take you through the list. 4220 and 4222 Nevada. How are things moving on those two properties?
Houses are down, they're done. So now the next thing we're going to do is send out a proposal to bid for builders. We may go both with one builder or we go with two separate builders. It's all how they bid on the land.
Up to 54th and Zealand, and this is in the process of demolition or beginning the bids for that process, correct?
So the demolition bids are out. They'll start coming back in. The council will vote on that on the 13th of January. In the meantime, they're getting the lot ready for proposals to go out to a builder. So that proposal will go out, and then that'll come back, and it's the same process as the other ones.
54th in Virginia, going through the process here of the building permit. Give us an update on that property and what comes next.
So they've got the building permit. They're staking out where the foundation is going to be. They hope to get started on that house yet this winter or this fall. So the blocks will go in, they'll pour the cement, do whatever they start to do. They're hoping to get it framed up, because once they get it kind of framed up and secured, they can then work on it on the inside in the winter. So that's their hope.
That is amazing how they can keep working here as it gets colder. 7901 50th. There's a couple properties next to each other there. Again, this is some great news that shows the success of this program, correct?
Yep. The first house, the inner house, sold before it was built. The second one, the one that's on the street, just closed now for $450,000. So those two houses sold for a total of $968,000. And that's about $679,000 more than what was there. Now think about that. All that difference goes into our tax base. And of course, the bigger our tax base is, the more we can keep the tax levy down for everybody else. So we're really happy with those two houses. They're beautiful.
Final project to talk about is 8024 50th Avenue, and this is getting some water and sewer service. So that's a good step forward in the process.
Well, these are things we don't think about it. They're all under the ground, but they've got to get that service in. So the water, sewer, and electrical, that stuff is all going in. In the meantime, they're framing up. They're going to be framing that up. They want to get started on that one too before the winter sets in. So another exciting project going on.
All right, and if that's not enough work in community development, there's one more thing to keep an eye on, and that's new businesses. And you want to introduce a new business to the residents.
Well, we give a business certificate when there's a new business. We go in and check to make sure that they have the smoke detectors are in the right places and they have water suppression and all that stuff. So it's called Life Clinic, and it's going to be a medical urgent care facility. And that's located at 9220 Bass Lake Road. It's kind of in the lower level of that building in the back, kind of. So I think they're ready for business. So stop in and see.
Welcome to the community. Now to the police department. A couple updates here, and these all center around community engagement, the officers getting out and about in the community, meeting with people, and also getting educated. Tell us about some of the last week's activity.
Well, I'm not allowed to tell you about police calls, and so I don't. I mean, that's really police business, and I used to ask them about them, and they said, do you really need to know?
All right.
So I don't ask. That's police business. They take care of that. So when I talk about the police, I don't want you to think the only thing they're doing is community development, but that is a big thing. In the meantime, well, last week they did 476 police calls. So that's a lot of activity. That we're not talking about that. Anyway, they were out delivering on Meals on Wheels this last week. The chief and the two captains attended the police and fire command staff meeting. We work very closely with the fire department because when there's a fire or an emergency, a lot of times the fire department will go out. They may get there before the police department does. So they work very closely together. So our chief and our public service officer hosted a lunch at Broadway Village for a coat drive.
Mhm.
I understand that was very successful too.
Right.
So if you miss that coat drive, you can bring your coat into the police department.
Mhm.
Officer Callio also hosted a multi-housing best practice class. So we have these classes, and these are for apartment buildings. And one of the officers, Callio, hosts that class and tells them about what's expected if you've got an apartment building and what are the rules that you have to abide by.
Mhm.
So that was about the whole thing. We had one of our command staff graduated, did a graduation ceremony, so we had a little graduation ceremony for him.
Very
So
nice.
the police have been out in the community. As soon as summer starts, we'll be back in the parks doing that too.
Yep, busy group there. Let's go to Public Works. A couple things related to water here. One wanting to freeze water and the other wanting to stop water from flooding around. What were they up to recently, or they hope to get up to very soon?
But we have 3 outdoor rinks. They are at Lions Park, Hidden Valley, and Liberty Parks. This is when they start flooding the rinks. Well, they don't flood them when it isn't cold. So they have to make sure it's cold enough to do that. As soon as it is, the water trucks will go out and start doing that. It takes many, many layers to do that. So typically they go out when it gets cold. They'll go out 2-3 times a day to flood these rinks. And so they'll be doing that. We're trying to get them flooded so we can open those rinks on the 30th of December.
Very good. Let's hope that happens. And under the ground, a water main broke recently, but they were right on top of it.
Well, they were under it is where they were.
Right.
They have to dig under it. It's too bad they can't capture that water somehow to flood the rinks, but that doesn't happen. So
Mhm.
they don't mind doing the water main breaks, but it's still kind of warm. They really don't like it when it's 20 below.
I understand. One final Public Works note. They're working on a position within Public Works. Give us an update on that work.
Well, we just hired we're trying to hire a maintenance worker. So, of course, we posted internally. We didn't get any 2 qualified signers. It went external. We got a few signers on that. And so they've considered one person. They made an offer to them. And now if they go for a background check, and that he'll have to accept or she'll have to accept that offer. And the background check has to be okay. When those 2 things happen, they'll actually hire the person.
Let's move ahead to Park and Recreation. Get your calendars out here because there's a lot going on in the next couple of weeks. Let's begin with a fun event. And we hope to have, well, we will have ice for this event because it's Insight, Skate with Santa. Tell us when that happens and where.
It's going to be the 20th of December at the New Hope Ice Arena, 6:30 to 8 o'clock, and Santa will be there skating around. One year I thought I'd just volunteer to be one of his elves. I don't skate. It became very clear to me that it's not as easy as it looks.
Mhm.
So Santa will be there and you'll be skating around with Santa. The kids really enjoy doing that. So get your little skates out and go skate with Santa.
Yeah, fun event. We've been talking about the farmers market and the work to try to get someone to coordinate that fun event in the summertime. And it sounds like there's some people interested. Give us an update on that process.
Well, 2 things happened with that. They had a closing date for applications, but they said it would stay open until the position is filled. So we want to make sure we actually get somebody. But the people who applied before the 3rd, if they're qualified and somebody else is qualified, they'll get preferential treatment. But if you want to, this is a good time to apply for that. So we do have some applicants. We're pretty sure that we'll get somebody to do that. We're not sure what the date is or where the place is yet. We'll work on that. We're pretty sure it's not going to be on a Saturday. It's probably going to be like 3 to 7 one day during the week.
Okay.
So if it's something you're interested in, it is a full-time position because once you get started on it, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done.
Sure. All right. We'll keep people up to date on that process. Also in Park and Rec, we want to talk about youth basketball. Apparently some cities partnering together to try to get some people out on the court.
Well, if you're going to have a basketball league, so you can have a basketball tournament, you need more than one basketball team.
Mhm.
So our staff is coordinating with other cities to help them get some basketball teams together. And these are mostly for the kids. And once they have that together and the teams are playing in their individual cities, we'll start to try to get a league together. So the other thing they're doing is trying to recruit some coaches. Typically, if you're a coach for one of these sports, they waive the cost for your child to play in that sport. So you can also you can go online and find that. You can always call our Park and Rec director at 531-5151, and somebody will help you on how to do that.
Very good. Let's talk a little bit about the warming houses. We talked about the rinks a moment ago and hoping to get those flooded, but the warming houses are a key element of outdoor skating as well. And you've got some staff that works there. Is that correct?
We do. It's hard to get staff, by the way, because it's really part-time and it's really funny hours. So they're trying to open on the 30th of December. And of course, that all's depending on the weather. We've got to have cold weather to make the ice to make the warming house open. But again, those warming houses were out those 3 parks, Lions, Liberty, and Hidden Valley. The hours might be a little scattered, so be careful. You might want to check out if you want to spend a lot of time and come in and warm up. But the skating, if the ice is good, the skating will be open.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, you may have noticed something interesting in City Hall if you stopped by lately, and that's a very special mailbox. Mayor, tell us about this mailbox and what it's there for.
Well, you can write a letter to Santa.
Okay.
Apparently, it's just for the kids, because I tried writing a letter to Santa to explain a few things, but apparently that's not acceptable. So you have until the 11th of December, and there's a special mailbox at City Hall. You can put your letter to Santa in there. Please include your full name and your address so that the elves can send you back a note about your letter to Santa. So get that letter written, put it in that little mailbox at City Hall, and it'll get to Santa.
Very fun. All right, a couple other things in Park and Rec to talk about. We talked about some partnerships with Hennepin County earlier. Here's another partnership within Park and Rec, and this is for grants. Explain again how this works and what the city has done recently.
We are always looking for grant money. So we get some money from the Twins and the Twin Stadium. We also get some money from Hennepin County. So just recently we got a check for $33,000 from Hennepin County on a grant that we applied for. So when we apply to this grant and we get the money, we have to give them the information that we're going to use the grant for. So that's always a good thing. I understand at the December 9th meeting, we're going to get a check from the youth hockey for $5,000, which they have done forever. So since 2011, they have given us over $71,000 to be used around our ice arena. So we really appreciate youth hockey for what they do for us.
That is wonderful. All right, let's head to that golf course behind you. And we've got some pictures here to show you, not the outside, but the inside. The clubhouse is looking spectacular.
Well, last weekend, Saturday and Sunday, it was rented for family outings. What a nice thing to do. You don't have to clean your house. They've got a nice working bathroom. You can just bring the food in, plug in your crock pots, and it's a great place to have an event that you don't have to worry about. So now's the time, though. I don't know if they've got available times between now and Christmas or between now and New Year's, but you might want to call and check. But this is really the time to get that wedding shower, that baby shower, and those graduation parties locked in. It's a great place to have it. The graduation parties all in the back, by the way, because by the time you do the graduation parties, golf has started and you can't be inside. But we have that nice outside area with a grill that we let you use, and it's a wonderful setup.
It is a great place. Final note in Park and Rec as far as facilities is the ice arena. A lot happening inside that building right now. Give us a quick taste of what's going on.
Well, youth hockey is always there playing. And of course, they're having the Mike tournament was last weekend. That's the little guys. They are so fun. To watch a 4-year-old play hockey is an amusing sport, if nothing else. So that's going on. And the girls have a game. The girls' high school has a game this Thursday, varsity and junior varsity. And of course, the little kids are always practicing and always have their little games going on. The other thing is they have a walking track there. And that's open Monday through Friday from 8 to 1 o'clock. And it's free. You just go in and you walk around the track. We ask that there are no kids there. We really want that to be for adults. There's a reason for that walking track to be there. And so, sorry you can't bring the kids, but if you're an adult, you can walk that track.
Couple final notes in Park and Rec. First is there's some funds available to help people out if they're interested in getting into some programs. Mention how that works, Mayor.
So if you're interested in the program, you look in your book and you see the cost of the program. A lot of those programs, we will pay half the fee and the parent pays the other half. To get that half in paid for it, you have to show up in person to City Hall with ID showing that you're a resident. Now, I suggest that you call the number on the screen and make sure that that program you want to sign your child up for is covered under this grant or this fund half that we pay. So it's really a nice, we want all these kids to play that can. It's really a nice thing to do. And if you've got multiple kids, you probably need a little help with some of these programs.
There you see that phone number, 763-531-5151. And here's the guide the mayor's talking about. This has all the information about some of those programs coming up in the next few months, and also might have information about the family packs. We've got winter activity packs, and we also have holiday packs. Tell us what these great treasures are and how people can get their hands on them.
Not everybody has room to put sleds and snowshoes and shoes in their apartment or even in their house. So you can rent a winter pack for $15, but you have to put a $50 deposit back when you return it. I think you get the winter pack for 2 weeks. The holiday packs are actually just buy. They're $15. All the stuff you need to make some holiday crafts. It's a great way to entertain the kids over the holiday seasons when the kids are home. So both of those are really a nice thing to have. Just a little thing. You can get gift certificates from Park and Rec for any denomination you want. And that helps the kids defer some of the cost of these programs. So it's a great way for grandma and grandpa to tuck something in their stocking or put it in a little gift box for them. And if you want a book to put it with that you just shown, you can go to City Hall and pick one of those books up and put your little gift certificate with the book. So nice present for them.
Yeah, you just made our shopping much easier as we move through the holidays here. Let's go to Human Resources, update you on a couple items. And the first is an Employee of the Year recognition. And this is a man that we've talked about just a few times throughout the year here. Tell us more.
So we have this Employee of the Year, and we do that at the Christmas party or the holiday party at the end of the year. So this year, our Employee of the Year is Ricky, the guy who is running the golf course. So we see Ricky when we go in to play golf, but there are so many things he's doing besides that. If you watched in the summer, he was out there with a shovel digging up one of the water lines to get it replaced. He's also sharpening the blades for the cutters, running the golf course, cleaning up when needed to be done. He's just a jack of all trades, and he's got this upbeat, wonderful personality that welcomes you into the course. So just a big congratulations to Ricky for Employee of the Year.
Congratulations to Ricky indeed. City Manager Administrative Specialist position. Give us an update on the search for someone to fill that role in the city.
So this is the person that sits at the front desk that greets everybody as they come in. So she is just in charge of having everybody be upbeat when they come in. She'll send them where they need to go to find out the answer to their question. Well, like any job at City Hall, it has to be posted internally for a week or so, see if there's any eligible candidates. We did not have 2 candidates that wanted the job, so it went external, and now it's online. So if that's a position you're interested in, it's a full-time job. You have to have an upbeat personality. A lot of training goes on with that. I know there's a manual that comes with it to help you with the job, and everybody at City Hall will make sure you succeed at that position. So if it's something you're interested in, now's the time to apply for that. If you can't find it online, I suggest you just call City Hall and ask somebody, and they'll tell you how to find it. Walk you through that.
One other HR item, a police officer position being filled as well. Give us that update.
Well, police officers take a long time to get up to speed. So when we hire a police officer, they have to spend 1 year as a probationary period, and then all the technical stuff they have to learn, get them all outfitted, get them the stuff they need to do that. They ride around with a seasoned police officer for a while. So it's a big deal to get a new officer and get them up to speed. So typically we post that like all the other jobs for a couple of weeks. Nobody signed that wanted it. It went up external. We got somebody. So an offer is being made to that person. They're doing the background check. So we should have a new officer in the next couple of weeks.
Couple final notes to pass along to the city's website. We go once again, newhopemn.gov. That's the place to find the city services survey results. And again, this is something the city has worked on an annual basis. Why is this so important? Why should people take a peek at these?
Well, it's nice to know. We know that the city's doing well because we see the survey, but it's nice to know that the rest of the residents know that their fellow residents think it's doing well too. So you can see all the results of that survey. We've looked at them. We've read every single comment. The reason the survey is so important to us, because if you do write a comment, we read that and it goes to the appropriate department. And if it's something we can fix, we will. If it isn't, we'll get back to that person. And I understand all the callback calls have been made. If you made a comment and you didn't get a callback call, call the city and tell them, and somebody will get you to the right person and you'll get a call back from them.
Social media for the city has been getting out some information about the city council opening. Remind us about that opening again and where we are in that process right now.
Well, because John Elder, who is our new mayor-elect, was on the city council, when he takes that position as mayor, his position then becomes open on the city council. So we went and looked for applications for that. We got 7 applicants for that position. They will be interviewed this week and next week and the other 4 council members, the mayor and the other 3, will actually interview these 7 people, and they will pick one of the 7, and that person will serve a 2-year term because that's how long it is till John's election would have been up. So they'll serve a 2-year term, and if they want to continue, then they'll have to run a campaign just like everybody else does. So they'll be interviewing them, and we're hoping to have a new one picked before that first meeting in January, which is the 13th of January.
Very good. Couple final notes to pass along. The In Touch guide is now out, I understand, through the post office process and should be in people's homes very soon. What's inside?
It was in my home, so I know it's there.
Perfect.
So if you didn't get one, basically what it is, it's our communication piece on paper. Not everybody goes online. Not everybody reads the paper. Not everybody sees the website. We want to make sure we have as many ways of getting to folks as we can. So we call this the In Touch. And if you didn't get one in your mailbox, you can call City Hall and they'll send you one, or you can go into City Hall and just pick one up. A lot of good information, a lot of phone numbers on where to call people. This time there's a lot of good information on what to do about your leaves. Don't rake them in the street. What to do about your sidewalks being shoveled. Just some really good winter information on that. So make sure you read your In Touch. If nothing else, make yourself a cup of tea. Sit down and read it.
Yeah, helpful tool to residents. In Focus Photo Contest, you see a website right here that you can go to be part of the voting for People's Choice. Again, how long do we have to do this voting?
Well, we've extended that to the 31st of December. We want as many people to vote as they can. So you can look at the pictures online. They're spectacular. Or you can go into City Hall and look at the pictures on a big screen. And they have ballots in City Hall. If you're going to look at them online, after you're done looking at it, your ballot is there. You can pick one that you like the best. And once those are all in, those votes are all in on the 31st of December, they'll then do the awards probably at that first meeting in January.
Final note to pass along. We talked a little bit earlier about coat drives, but let's talk about all the great drives going on during the holidays here in the city of New Hope. You're really trying to make it easy for people to donate some items.
We are. There's a lot of people through no fault of their own really need some food. And with the kids being home from school, they really need some food. And maybe they can't get all the toys or the coats because these kids grow so quick. And even adults need coats too. So we're having these 3 drives. Let's start with the toy drive. We need unopened new toys. You can either drop them off at City Hall or you can drop them off at the police station. Remember, there are also teenagers that are looking for things too.
Right.
So things that the teenagers might like, or little kids. So then that's the toys. So then there's the food drive. It's got to be non-perishable food, so canned or boxed stuff that isn't expired, by the way. You can drop that off at City Hall. All of that goes to NEAR. That's the food shelf that supports the north part of New Hope. If you're on the south part, you go to Prism, but I understand NEAR will take just about anybody if you need food.
Okay.
So the third one is the coat drive, and that's being done by the police department. And so you can bring your gently used coats to the police department. They've got a big bin there. All those coats will go to the Salvation Army. So they need coats for little ones, medium ones, and big size people, normal size people.
Mhm.
And so put those coats in there and they'll get to the right person. Now, with the food and the toy drive, if you would just like to donate cash, cash is always needed.
Mhm.
So again, you'll have to go to the city clerk to give them the cash, and they will make sure that NEAR gets that. So the food and the cash will go to NEAR. What's left over with that, if we have any, will be used for Blue Santa.
Okay.
That's an event that the police department does. They get 13 to 15 families. They get a list of the things those families want for Christmas and try to go out and buy those things with the money that they get left over from this drive. So again, all of this goes back into the community, and that's where we want it to be.
All right. Well, there is your packed update from the city of New Hope, Mayor. A lot going on in the city as always. So hope you had a chance to write a few things down. If you missed a thing or two, stick with us. We're going to have our calendar of events, and we'll re-mention some of those items here in just a second so you can make sure you can attend. Mayor, thanks so much for the update. Have a great week, and we'll see you again next Monday.
See you then, Dave. Bye-bye.
For more city stories, check out ccxmedia.org or find us on social media.